Well, folks, here we are, the last day of Think 2018. I am actually headed out this morning, flying back because I did not want to red-eye it. I personally have issues with red eyes. If I take a red eye, I am kind of messed up for days for sleeping, which is not good for your health. So I'm headed out. But some reflections on yesterday. I think yesterday was an absolute incredible day, I think, because there was some really powerful, compelling new technology that I got a chance to see. So one thing was Watson data kits, which are pre-trained models. These are, when you're doing machine learning and artificial intelligence development, one of the most difficult things to do is to get a credible, clean, well-functioning model. Imagine, for example, you were trying to build you're trying to forge your own frying pan to cook with, right? And you can get a sense of just how difficult that could be to get it to work, really well to be commercially viable. And certainly, your first few tries are not going to be very good. And over time, you would get to the point where you could do make a good frying pan, and then you could get to the process of actually cooking something, right? So that's sort of, it's not an exact analogy, but the model that you build in artificial intelligence and machine learning is very much similar in concept. You have to build the model by taking a lot of training data and training it and getting the algorithm correct, and then you can start using it in production. Well, the idea behind the Watson data kits and these pre-trained models is that IBM's like, here's the frying pan. Right? You don't need to build the frying pan. You can use the ones we already built. And of course, the cost of that is that when you run compute, meaning when you use IBM's server resources and infrastructure resources, of course, there's going to be usage fees for that, but they're per minute usage, and they're something like 2 or 3 cents a minute. So if you are working particularly with marketing data, you're talking maybe like 20 minutes at a time. I mean, most marketing data sets are not gigantic data sets unless they're customer databases or like lots of web traffic. But for the most part, things that we do machine learning on in marketing are not, terabyte level data sets. They are typically a little bit smaller. So that was pretty cool. The one thing that I thought was just head shredding was the new Watson Studio, which is formerly the data science experience. Again, very low cost environment. This has drag and drop for just about everything. So if you're familiar with services and software from companies like RapidMiner, Alteryx, Kanaim, I don't even know how to pronounce their software, workflow designers. Tableau is going to be offering it in a future product where you just drag and drop little icons to make analytics workflows. Well, IBM took that and then ran all the way down the field with it to the point where now not only can you do that for analytics and data science, but they kicked it up to deep learning, which means that if you are building a deep learning system, which is a system that can effectively learn and reinforce its learning on its own, you used to have to write a lot of code, and it was not a pleasant experience. And it was also very difficult to understand whether or not your stuff was actually working correctly, at least for people who are not hardcore AI folks. Well, this is now built into Watson Studio, where you can drag and drop and compose deep learning systems, in very, very advanced deep learning systems with drag and drop, in the same way that you would, your kids could program in Scratch and build dancing cat applications from MIT. Same general idea. Drag and drop all the layers that you want in a deep learning model, and then have the Watson system run them. This is a huge game changer for everyone who wants to get into deep learning, but does not want to have to learn how to assemble the infrastructure like PyTorch or Keras on top of TensorFlow and stuff. All the buzzwords of the day are now in a drag and drop format. And so there's less standing in our way of actually doing deep learning now. And that is just an incredible achievement, and something that, again, it's within the sort of the IBM cloud system, so it is per minute usage. Now for deep learning and GPU usage, it's going to cost a bit more. I think it's like it's going to be maybe like, I don't know, 25 cents a minute or something along those lines, if you go all out and make like 100-layer network, neural network. But again, this is not something that we as marketers would be doing a huge amount of. We would be doing just the bits and pieces. And so our neural architecture is probably going to be relatively small. What does this mean for marketing? How do marketers make use of this? If there are things that you need answers to in your data that you cannot get through traditional analytics, that you cannot get through even basic machine learning, if there's a level of forecasting you need that requires extremely high precision, if there are massive amounts of text mining you have to do that regular systems simply are not up to scratch for doing, that's where these neural architectures would come into play. You would use deep learning to extract data faster from them and with more meaning. My friend Trip Braden has a great expression. He says artificial intelligence is about the two A's, accuracy and acceleration. Accuracy meaning you get better results than other methods, and acceleration, you get results faster than other methods. And that's what the promise of deep learning has been, but the technical obstacles to getting a deep learning system up and running have been very, very large until now. And so now that we have access to a system like this with Watson Studio, the only real obstacle left is learning the conceptual architecture of a deep learning system so that we can assemble the pieces. We can drag and drop the icons in the right order. But the code barrier, the technology, the infrastructure barrier is now largely a thing of the past, or it should be. So I struggle to emphasize how important this is for people who have an interest or a need for AI. It is a complete game changer, and I'm so happy that IBM chose to release this and not make it like $1 gajillion. Like, oh yeah, your subscription to Watson Studio only costs $20 million a month, because they could have, and they didn't. It's accessible to everyone. You might not be able to do a ton of compute on $1 a month, but you could, and that's the magic of it, and that's the incredible power of it. So that was the big takeaway from yesterday, was getting hands-on into the system and using it and making it work. So I'm headed back to the Great White North, aka Boston, today, and looking forward to putting to use all these different technologies. For those who didn't get a chance to watch the Facebook Live and stuff, I'm going to be cleaning up and editing the video for that. I'm going to publish that on the Brain Trust Insights website. So stay tuned to the blog there, and along with any other content from Think. And now to start the hardcore work of building the new company and starting to serve customers and stuff. So the adventure is just about to begin. But thanks for watching. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.